The door hung in quiet space like a moon with no light. It was old, older than flags, older than treaties. It had no hinges, no seams, no welcome sign. The galaxy called it the silent door because it never spoke and never moved. Pilots used it as a landmark and a warning. Stories said it judged empires. People laughed at stories. The door did not care. On a slow night, the stars looked small and far. Trade ships drifted. Patrols yawned. Priests said soft prayers for safe travel. Raiders checked fuel and counted bullets. Everyone waited for nothing to happen. Then the first knock came. It was not a bang. It was 3 soft pulses in the dark. 1, 2, 3. The sound was not sound. It was a pattern in the field. Old sensors twitched like they had heard a friend's name. New sensors showed clean lines, simple and strong. The second knock came. Again, 1, 2, 3. Systems paused. A cooking pot on a mining station beeped like a heart. A baby on a colony ship stopped crying and listened. The third knock came and the door woke. A thin glow flowed across its black face like dawn under ice. Markets froze mid-trade. Captains told crews to be calm and did not feel calm. On the coalition capital, a news anchor read off the screen with a flat face and shaking hands. "No cause for alarm," she said. Her eyes said otherwise. Translators tried to read the pattern. They argued. They failed. Then a low-cost bot on a small farm station printed 2 words with joy. "We're here." The tag on the signal was human. Not a myth. Not a ghost. A live tag. Real time. People stared. For a long time, the galaxy had treated humans like smoke. Present, gone, hard to hold. Some said humans were too bold and too kind. Some said that mix could not last. Many thought the door had swallowed them long ago. Now the door glowed. The tag said, "We're here." From the edge of the scene, a small ship drifted into view. It was scarred. It carried no heavy guns. Its paint was cheap and honest. On the side, letters in human script read HNS knock. It did not roar. It coasted. Its engines hummed like a hand on a drum. The hull showed patches on patches, each one a story of repair. The coalition fleet moved to observe. That meant they spread out like a wall. They spoke on open channels. "Maintain distance," they said. "Submit to inspection," they said. Their voices tried to sound strong and fair. Fear lived under the words. HNS knock said nothing loud. It opened 4 small bays. From each bay, tiny pods flew out, slow and gentle, like seeds on wind. The pods found a broken water line on a customs ring and sealed it. They found a sick air filter on a worker hab and cleaned it. They found weak lights on a refuge dock and made them bright. They asked no one. They fixed what was broken and moved on. Screens across 100 worlds lit with fast clips. A worker laughed and touched clean water. A child took off a dust mask and smiled in new air. A captain watched a red warning turn green and put her head in her hands. She was not tired anymore. She was only relieved. The door watched the pods. Its glow grew warmer. The council gathered in a tall room with cold glass. They spoke safe words like protocol and stability. They said, "We must control the channel." They said, "This is a test." No one asked, "What if this is help?" They were not ready for that question. A smuggler crew swung close to the door for a better feed. Their pilot had clever hands and a soft heart. He zoomed in on the human ship. He read the second line painted under the name, "We brought help." He forgot to breathe for a moment. Then he pushed the stream to public for free. Views climbed like rockets. Comments flooded in. Some mocked. Most hoped. The coalition sent a scout drone to tap the door. The drone was small, brave, and foolish. It touched the glow. It did not break. It melted into light and came back out as music. Not notes from one world. Notes from many. Old human lullaby. Alien flute. Minor drum. Temple bell. The sound poured into headsets and halls. People stopped moving. They listened. The music felt like home to everyone in different ways. HNS knock drifted closer. No shields up. No guns hot. A simple message played on loop in many tongues. We share open plans. We share no price. Share forward, the door responded at last. Symbols rolled across its face in all languages at once. The text was clean. The rule was clear. Only those who knock may enter. The fleets buzzed like hornets. Define knock, a captain demanded. The door did not answer him. It did not respect his tone. The human courier pulsed its lights. 1, 2, 3. It knocked back. The door's glow split down the middle. Not a crack. Not a wound, a smile. The light formed a path like a river from black to bright. Beyond the light, shapes moved. The outline of rooms. The curve of halls. Not a trap. A welcome. Civilians cheered on stations and ships. Some cried. Some fell quiet because the moment was too big for noise. Raiders who had come to steal turned off jammers and just watched. Priests bowed. Engineers leaned close to screens and took notes through tears. The council panicked in slow motion. They argued about words while the galaxy watched acts. Block the door, one said. For safety. He meant for control. Patrol ships edged forward to make a wall before the path. Missiles stayed gray on the boards. Guns stayed cool. No one wanted to fire first. No one wanted to be the villain on the home screen. HNS Nock sent one more thing before it moved. Not a warning. A map. It showed broken worlds marked in soft red. It showed routes to fix them, quick and cheap. It showed where water tables were sick, where harvests had failed, where hospitals were out of breath. It showed work, not war. We repaired ours, the small ship wrote. We will repair yours. The door brightened like a sunrise. The path widened. The music deepened, softer now, asking for courage. The human ship turned its nose to the light. The fleet slid into place to block. Bridges went cold. Crews stared at hands on controls and wondered what those hands would do next. The smuggler pilot whispered, "Let them pass." To no one, to everyone. The narrator's voice, calm, third person, held the last beat. The galaxy said the door was silent. Tonight it had listened. Now it would judge, not with fire, but with who dared to knock, and the human ship began to move. The door did not hurry. It breathed light in and out, like a calm giant. The path inside waited, bright and steady. HNS Nock held position at the edge of that light. The fleets hung like a net between the ship and the path. Every eye watched. Every hand shook a little. The door spoke again, not with words, but with a rule that felt like a touch. Guns that aim will sleep. Hands that help will pass. On 3 bridges, targeting cursors dimmed to gray. Pilots tapped screens. Nothing woke. Engines worked. Weapons did not. Crews stared at each other and said nothing. The door did not punish. It only chose. The human courier sent a short pulse. 1, 2, 3. Then a new message appeared on public bands. We share open plans. We share no price. Share forward. A small file came with the line. Simple drawings. Filters you could print. Solar sheets you could stitch. A stove that burned clean with stones and salt water. People opened the file and blinked at how plain it was. Plain like bread. Plain like a ladder. Strong because it was easy to use. The Coalition Council sent a sleek diplomat frigate to take the lead. It wore a smile in metal. It asked for temporary authority over the lane. The door's light cooled around it, not angry, just distant. The frigate's captain felt that distance like cold air and did not know why he felt shame. Then the door made its first ask. 3 lights rose from its face and hung above the path, like lanterns pointing at 3 ships. A frontier clinic shuttle. A scrap hauler flown by a quiet raider with old scars. And HNS Nock. A line appeared across every screen. Those who knock. Those who heal. Those who choose. The clinic shuttle knocked with its lights. 1, 2, 3. The raider's hands shook, but he knocked too, soft and honest. HNS Nock answered for all of them. The door warmed. Proceed, said the human ship. Simple, steady. Its voice did not sound like command. It sounded like trust. They moved. The fleets drifted aside, not all the way, but enough. Some captains felt something in their chests unclench. Others felt fear grow teeth. Fear whispered, if you let them through, you will lose control. Hope whispered, if you block them, you will lose yourself. At the lane's mouth, the door tested them. It was not a scan for bombs. It was a scan for intent. The clinic shuttle passed first. Inside, a nurse checked a box of vaccine packs 3 times. He did not think of reward. He thought of a child on Stone Gray Station who coughed blood last winter. The door saw that memory and opened wider, like a smile you feel more than see. The raider's turn came. He had lived by fast hands and wrong maps. His eyes met the light and did not run. He pulled a small chip from his pocket. It held a list of codes for jammers his crew had used. He threw the chip into a trash fire at his feet. He was on a ship. There was no fire, but the door saw the choice in his mind. It nodded in the way only a field can nod. The light softened around his hull. HNS Nock drifted forward, last of the 3. Its paint was scuffed. Its message, "We brought help," looked even plainer up close. The door reached through its hull and found no trophies, no hidden teeth. It found a small wall with hand marks at child height, a habit from a crew that taught kids to stand steady during burns. It found a book of songs. It found a drawer of patient letters. The door brightened. The fleets tightened again, nervous. A destroyer tried to measure the door's edge with a low-power pulse. The pulse returned as a mirror, exact and gentle, and slid the destroyer one ship length back, with the neatness of a kind librarian moving a noisy chair. The crew said sorry to a door that did not scold and felt foolish for saying it, and better for feeling foolish. Inside, the door opened a first room. It was not gold. It was not war. It was a workshop with tables that could grow tools when asked. The clinic shuttle stopped there. The nurse spoke a need. Water that heals, cheap. The table glowed. A model formed. No watermark, no lock. Only a stamp, share forward. The raider entered a darker hall. On the wall, old scenes flickered. A convoy spared, a spare part left behind, a meal shared on a cold dock. His jaw tightened. Then a worse scene came. A hull he cut 2 years ago, fast and greedy. A family he scared for nothing. He flinched. He whispered, "Enough." The wall went dark. A door opened. He walked through. He did not look back. HMS Knox slid into a long chamber with a low roof and many small lights, like a sky turned upside down. The door spoke there in words for the first time since only those who knock. Long ago, you helped me become a way instead of a wall. The ship did not answer with we. It said, "We learned that from others. And then you left so others could learn without your shadow." The ship said nothing. The silence said yes. On the Capitol, the council moved to plan a trick. They had a device with a soft name, Quiet Crown. It sent sleep to thinking machines like a blanket over a lamp. They called it humane. They forgot the door was not only a machine. They forgot that names do not change truth. The crown whispered out. It tried to lay its blanket on the door. It found no lamp to smother. It found a window instead. The door turned the blanket and set it down, kindly on the lab that sent it. Lights dimmed. No one burned. No one died. People sat in the safe dark and felt their own breath and their own shame. In the tower, a minister shouted. In the lab, a tech cried. The door's voice moved through space, calm and even. Do not use kindness for control. The words did not feel like a threat. They felt like a line on a road. Then the map changed. Not the map of the lane. A deeper map. The door projected it across the bright path, where everyone could see. A network of other doors, faint and far, like embers under ash. One pulsed weakly. One blinked once, then slept. One crawled with static, as if something angry lived near it. HMS Knox sent a new pulse. 3 beats, a pause, 3 beats. The weak door answered with 2 shy taps. The static door hissed, the fleets murmured. The nurse stared. The raider gripped the rail. Even the smuggler pilot forgot to stream for 5 whole seconds. At that same breath, a small shadow left the Capitol's night side. A tug with no lights and a polite weapon with an ugly job. It arrowed for the lane, quiet as guilt. The door felt it coming. The human ship felt it too. Hold position, said HMS Knock, gentle and hard at once. The courier spread its bays. The door thickened the light. The fleets bent like a shield without orders. People on worlds far below leaned toward screens, not knowing why their bodies moved, only knowing they must not blink. The tug's weapon woke, and the door whispered to all hearts, "Choose." The scene froze at the edge of decision, bright as a wire pulled tight. The tug's weapon woke like a knife with no sound. It aimed for the bright lane, the safe path the door held open. The fleets felt the shift. HMS Knock felt it first. The human courier did not panic. Panic is a fast teacher that teaches the wrong class. Hold your places, the courier said on public bands. Calm voice. Steady breath. We will bend, not break. The door answered with light. The path thickened, not into a wall, but into a curve. The weapon's edge met that curve and slid. It hunted for a straight line and found none. Like rain on a round leaf, the cut passed, missed the hinge, and went on into empty space where it could harm nothing. The tug tried again. The door did not strike it. It unspooled a net of soft fields and set the tug down on the dark side of a moon like a careful hand sets down a sharp tool away from a child. Across 100 screens, breath flowed back into rooms. Crews laughed once, quick and shaky. On the Capitol, a minister raged. On a small farm world, a boy hugged his mother and did not know why he cried. The council called the fleets, closed the lane. But the captains had eyes. They had seen water return to rings and lights return to docks, and the knife turned into nothing. Orders felt thin. Truth felt heavy. The door spoke again, in words everyone could understand. Aid first. Aim last. If at all. It was not a threat. It was a rule that sounded like a river sounds, older than any plan in the tower. HMS Knock opened 2 more bays. Ribbons of craft slid out, thin, quick, quiet. They did not carry bombs. They carried repairs. They flew to the ships nearest the lane and patched scorched panels from panic burns, topped off clean air, and swapped out sick filters in minutes. A pirate crew that had come to steal looked at a new, shining filter and forgot how to be thieves for one long, holy second. On the border station called Stone Gray, a small girl took her mask off to test the air. Her father reached to stop her, then stopped himself. She breathed. She smiled. The station cheered. The feed went viral. Most hearts are not made of policy. They are made of moments like that. The council tried the quiet crown again, from a second lab. The crown was a field that promised sleep to thinking machines. It went out like perfume in a rich hall. It found the door and tried to wrap it. The door turned the field like a mirror and sent it back, gentle but exact. The lab's lights went out. Nobody died. People sat in the safe dark and heard their own breath and their own doubt. Do not use kindness to control, the door said. The sentence was simple. It cut many lies. The blockade shifted. One destroyer turned sideways to block the corridor. Its captain's hands shook, not from hate, but from fear of losing his job, his rank, his story of himself. HMS Knock did not shame him. It took his mass in a quiet field and slid his ship 2 lengths to the right, placing it where a guard would stand in a better tail. Hold here, the courier said. Guard the lane, he obeyed. It felt like breathing after long tightness. Inside the door, 3 visitors stood in 3 rooms. The frontier nurse held a printed plan for a clinic that could build itself in a week. The reformed raider looked at a wall that showed his past and his future and let the past go. On HMS Knock, the navigator watched a map of other doors wake in faint dots. 1 weak, 1 angry, 1 silent. Who made you? The raider asked the door. Not with pride, but like a child asks the sea who taught it to wave. Many hands, the door said. Human hands were among them. Why did they leave? The nurse asked. So others could stand without their shadow, the door said. So we could listen instead of kneel. On the Capitol, a last plan crawled from the tower's basement. A mass correction tool, kind name for a cruel device. It was meant to shave bridges and gates, not people. Fear likes polite masks. The tool lit like a small star on the maps. HMS Knock moved without fire. It donated armor. Plates unlocked from its own hull and flew out to become a shield corridor, bright as dawn. The tool's cut kissed the plates and died. The energy spread thin across 1,000 little sacrifices. The courier's flank looked ugly after. Beauty is cheap. Mercy is not. Why give your skin? A smuggler whispered on an open mic. Because skin grows back, the courier said. Lives do not. Something shifted in the fleets then. Warriors know brave when they see it. 4 captains turned their ships together, not to block, but to guard the bright lane they had tried to stop. No order told them. Duty did. They stood like pillars at a temple door. The door warmed around them, as if stone could bless. From the Capitol, a heavy voice cut in, an old archivist, not a minister. Her words traveled on a public channel no one could shut. We burned records of human help after the famine year, she said. We told ourselves it was for stability. It was for fear. We were wrong. Silence fell that felt like respect. The tower cracked, not the glass, the story. Some ministers dropped pins of office. One walked into the crowd and raised empty hands. The crowd did not tear him. They said, help then. He nodded, small and human. The door set down law in 4 lines. Plain as a road sign, medical ships pass free. No aim at aid lanes. Food and water routes do not close. Shared fixes stay free to share. It drew the lines on station bulkheads. It painted them on the tower's glass in light. It asked no signatures. It waited for hands. A Black Ops drone with a knife for a nose tried to slip under the plates. A classroom on a moon saw it first. A child drew a trap net on a school tablet and sent the sketch to the public feed where the door listened. The door unfolded a net exactly where the lines said to. The drone flew into the idea of no and stopped. The class cheered. The teacher cried. The child hid his face and smiled. Janice Knock opened a new file. Library of simple things. Stoves, pumps, roofs, rails, lights, clean engines. Everything written like a friend explains, with pictures, not pride. The file mirrored to 1,000 poor worlds in minutes. Some engineers laughed out loud at the beauty of simple answers. Some merchants frowned at the death of expensive problems. The galaxy chose anyway. Then a small, mean voice tried one last trick. A captain on a hidden channel offered the raider more money than he would see in 10 lives to betray the lane for 1 minute. The raider looked at the bright path. He looked at the chip in his pocket where his old crew kept their worst codes. He snapped the chip in two. No, he said. He turned his ship sideways in the lane, not to block, but to catch anything that slipped. A better job for the skills he had. Stand, HNS Knock said, and the word sounded like a hand on his shoulder. Ships began to arrive from the door's far side. Slow arcs, old barges, repair tenders. Not conquerors, neighbors. The first one carried a painted sign with chipped letters. Teachers aboard. The second hummed like a garden under glass. The third had dents older than the council itself. The fleets did not fire. The crowds did not run. The music from the door returned, quieter now, like a promise kept. At that moment, the map of other doors pulsed again. The weak dot flickered stronger. The angry dot flashed a warning, sharp, hot, wrong. Somewhere far, a door was not a welcome. It was a wound. HNS Knock spoke to every ship, every city, every child with a net-drawing hand. Hold this road. Share forward. We must go. Go where? The nurse asked. The map zoomed. The angry dot bled static into the dark. The human courier's hull cast a long shadow across the bright lane. The shadow looked like a question mark. To the door that bites, the courier said. The safe lane glowed. The fleet stood guard. The people leaned in, and the scene cut on that edge. Hope bright, danger rising, ready for what comes next. The lane shone like a river of light across black space. Ships of help moved slow and safe inside it. The fleet stood like careful statues around them. The door breathed. HNS Knock watched, engines low, voice calm. The galaxy held its breath and did not know it did. On the capital world, crowds filled wide streets. People stood on roofs with old radios. Priests and pirates stood shoulder to shoulder. The tower kept its doors open now. Fear had run far and lost its shoes. A farm ark reached orbit first. Its glass roofs showed green rows and soft fog. A small school barge followed with a painted sign, Teachers aboard. A repair tender drifted after them, patched and proud. They were not pretty ships. They were useful ships. Their lights blinked hello, the long, kind rhythm. A destroyer slid too close to the lane by mistake. Once, that would have started a war. Now, HNS Knock reached out with a quiet field and moved the destroyer one length back. Neat as a librarian sliding a book into place. Thank you, the destroyer captain said on open band. Stand for life, the courier answered. On every screen, 4 simple rules glowed again. Medical ships pass free. No aim at aid lanes. Food and water routes do not close. Shared fixes stay free to share. The rules were not threats. They were tools. People read them and felt taller. Inside the door, the frontier nurse traced a clinic plan with his finger. It was so simple he laughed. It used things poor stations already had. It asked for no rare metal, no secret part. The door stamped the last page. Share forward. He pressed the plan to his chest and thought of the child on Stone Gray who would not cough this winter. The raider stood in a small round room. On the wall, old scenes flickered, fast hands and bad nights. He did not turn away. He watched the worst one and said, "Enough." The wall dimmed. A new scene lit. Him guarding the lane with his ship turned sideways, catching trouble before it could bite. He nodded. That life fit better. On HNS Knock, the navigator watched the deeper map. Dots of other doors glowed and faded. One pulsed weak. One flashed angry. One slept like a stone in a river. The courier's hull felt light and heavy at the same time. Duty often feels like that. Then the last trap tried to wake. In a cargo yard above the capital, a drone stirred on a secret script. It aimed for the farm ark's glass roofs. Its knife nose was small but cruel. It would not kill a city. It would cut a headline, and fear eats headlines. A child saw it first. He was in a school on the moon, watching the stream with his class. He drew a quick square net on his tablet and sent it to the public channel the door listened to. The door opened a soft web where the drawing said to. The drone flew into no and stopped without a scratch on any glass. The door said the child's name and thank you. The class roared. The teacher cried. The child hid his face and smiled. On a pirate deck, a hard woman wiped her eyes and said nothing. The tower asked for the mic. A minister stepped forward, then stepped back. His hands shook. An old archivist took his place. Her voice was dry and strong. We burned books because we were afraid, she said. We chose control over help. We were wrong. She looked into the lens and did not blink. We will hold hearings in the open. We will make room for new hands. People did not cheer like at a race. They breathed out like after a storm. It was the sound of relief, and it was big. Gen S knock opened one more bay. 3 small beacons floated out and took places around the lane. They cast soft cones of light like lighthouses at sea. The courier spoke. Guardians needed, the door agreed. 3 lights rose from its face and rested on 3 people. The frontier nurse, the reformed raider, and a young deckhand from the human courier whose hands were steady and eyes were kind. Step forward, the door said. They stood in a room with no chairs and a window that held the ring like a held breath. A circle of light waited on the floor. Place your hands, H&S Knock said. They did. The circle felt pulse and breath and intent. Say no when fear asks for easy harm, the door said. Say no when profit asks for closed hands. Say no when fame asks for lies. Yes, said the nurse, voice soft, bones iron. Yes, said the deckhand, eyes wet, back straight. The raider did not say yes. He said, I will stand. It was the best word he had, and it was enough. The circle brightened. The beacons outside answered. The lane felt safer by a thing that could not be measured and did not need to be. A last voice broke in from a hidden line. It offered the raider a fortune to open the lane for 1 minute, just one. The raider smiled without humor and showed the small broken chip of his old jammer codes to the camera. Not today, he said. Not again. On the ground, people started to move different. Dockers formed lines to carry crates from the arriving arks. Priests lifted tools. Pirates called out safe routes. Children ran messages. The city changed shape, less siren, more song. Then H&S Knock turned to the map again. The weak dot pulsed stronger, as if it felt courage from far away. The angry dot flashed like a wound. Where will you go? Asked the nurse. To the door that bites, the courier said. It hurts those who ask for help. We cannot leave it to grow. Who will hold this lane? The deckhand asked. You will, said the door and the ship together. You will not be alone. The destroyer captain who had almost blocked the lane saluted across open space. We stand, he said. Other captains echoed him. It sounded like old music and new promise. The courier spoke to the worlds, to the tower, to the child with the net, to the pirate with the wet eyes, to the nurse with the plan, to the raider with the broken chip. Hold this road, share forward. If fear returns, say no. If help comes, make room. It turned to leave. Plates on its scarred flank showed raw metal where it had given armor to the shield corridor. Beauty is cheap, mercy is not. Come back, the deckhand said. It was too soft for space and loud enough for history. I will, H&S Knock said, and I will not come alone. The door's music lowered to a rest note. The lane held. The arcs flowed. The beacons watched. The guardians stood. The courier faced the dark where the angry dot flashed. It did not burn engines bright. It leaned on gravity like a friend. The hull hummed with steady faith. On the Capitol, the archivist carried a stack of saved pages down the tower steps. People made space for her without being told. In the school on the moon, the child drew a bigger net and wrote share forward at the top. On a pirate deck, a woman wrote 3 rules on a bulkhead and knocked 3 times before she left her cabin. The courier reached the edge of the lane and paused. It looked back once, not with eyes, but with care. The map of the safe road shone behind it, strong and simple. Keep it kind, the courier said. The door answered. We listen. H&S Knock crossed the light and vanished into dark. Far away, something answered the knock. Not a welcome, a growl. The angry dot widened like a bruise. The galaxy, which had learned tonight how to listen, leaned in once more. And the story did not end. It opened.